What's up, everybody? Good evening, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Like It Ain't. What's up, y'all? We are so happy to be here and to build with y'all this evening. How you doing, brother? Over there, my dude, my homie.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, doing well, man. A hell of a week. Been busy, but healthy, happy. So everything's good.
Yeah,
How
same here.
about yourself? How about yourself?
I'm doing really well, man. This has actually been a pretty good month, Um, I'll build, we were building about that offline. But
Right.
yeah, man, it's we keep progressing and moving forward with everything we're doing, both individually and collectively. So I'm
Absolutely.
you know.
Good to know.
So tonight we are doing our movie review night. We want to do this once a month where we start reviewing movies. Ideally, it would be great if we start reviewing films that involve black people or different people of ethnicity. I know they say people of color.
Which I don't like to use, but
Not my
that's
favorite
just me.
term either. But,
I just
anyway,
said that earlier today, actually.
not my favorite term. But so the two movies that we are going to review this evening is The United States versus Billie Holiday and Coming to America 2. So everybody in the chats, please leave your thoughts about these movies. We want to start off with Billie Holiday versus the United States first, though. Okay. First, what did you think of the movie, brother?
Oh,
Like,
I was waiting to get your opinion first, but
okay.
yeah. Let's do it that way.
I thought it was amazing.
Okay.
I thought it was amazing. That director, what's his name? Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels. Yep. Yep.
He, that's what I expect from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he did The Butler and other films like that. I just
Mm-hmm.
expect that level of work from him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the actress,
Speak on it.
wow. So there are certain times in movies where an actor goes so deep into the role that even though they're acting, they take you on the journey with them where you feel like they're the character
Mm-hmm.
and you just feel like you're really that's the writing, that's the directing, it's a lot of things, but I could liken it to Denzel Washington when he did Malcolm X.
Wow.
When you were watching this, you just knew this dude is going in. He was deeply submerged in that character, in that life, in that story.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like this actress, she gave it all up, guts, glory, and all. I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because there were so many times in the story where she had to take on a different look or a different weight, because of what Billie was going through at different times in her life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, different prosthetics and makeup things happening. And then she just went in. She went in. So yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Okay. Let me just tell you, I thought that the acting was phenomenal.
Mm.
Phenomenal. I saw it in different at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So a few times I was up late, so I was a bit groggy. And this is the type of film that you really have to set aside and put your full attention into to really know what's going on, because there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
I feel kind of split in the middle in regards to the pacing and the editing a little bit. Like there was a few things that were a bit random and
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard to follow up with, and like once it was here, it was kind of hard to like stay not connected, but just like following everything all at once. So I went back again the next day. Literally the last 3 days, I seen it in pieces and different fragments.
Mm.
But overall, I'm saying that it was a positive feeling inside. Like I thought it was, what, like I said, really well acted. I thought the lead actress was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, I would have wanted to know a little bit more with some of the other characters in the artist development. But I mean, everybody from what they were given and what was written for them, I thought did a great job too. Like
Yeah,
the dude with the hair split, or like the George Jefferson ball spot, you know. He had me cracking up throughout the whole movie. He was dope, and I thought he was like a ride or die, you know, friend
yeah.
musician, along with Billie Holiday. And I, from a person that didn't know much about Billie Holiday's personal,
Hmm.
you know, that's what I'm saying. Like that's where I feel a bit like not even turned off, but just where I would like to know more
Right,
about like her artistry as well. It's
right.
just so much.
There's
It's
so much
so
to
hard
tell.
it's so hard to encapsulate a person's legacy and career all through 2 hours and change of a movie.
Right,
Even
but
if
see,
they
they
had
weren't
did.
trying to though. That's the thing. This movie was literally centralized on the dynamic of Billie Holiday
Mm-hmm.
and the United States versus the United.
Right, right,
So
and go
it's
ahead.
stuck to that.
Right, right, yeah.
It went into her past and her life and how she grew up some,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it wasn't just this. It wasn't a biopic.
Right, and what a lot of people don't know, which I just recently found out, was that Diana Ross's "Lady Sings the Blues" was also based on Billie Holiday.
Mhm.
So not only did I watch the film, but I watched a few reviewers. One person who, like myself, didn't have much of a background on Billie Holiday, so he would have. That's why I kind of identified with what he was saying, where he would have liked to know a bit more. I was in agreement with the pacing and the editing, but at the same time, the woman who was more familiar, who was a huge fan of Billie Holiday, thought that she was depicted a lot better in this film than she was with Diana Ross. Like she looked a lot more like her, and she put like, I don't think anybody would disagree that this woman put her whole, not her foot, her whole body into this role and just
Yeah.
killed it. Killed it. Like
Diana Ross was too glamorous. Like Lynn just said in the comments, he said she had to look very unglamorous for that role.
right.
Anna was too glamorous, and I feel like anything I've seen from that movie, she kind of showed that glamour
Mm-hmm.
still.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't that character. For me, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, but for me, it is something you need to watch all together because if you watch it in pieces, it'll feel bunchy. But remember,
Right.
they're doing a story about an addict at the end of the day. She was more than that, but there were some pieces that kind of just went from here to here
Right.
because sometimes you were with her when she got high. It was her, her traveling through her high, you know? So there was a lot going on that I really dug. Mikkel said there was unglamorous moments about Lady Sings the Blues. I didn't see the whole thing, so I have to,
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that too.
which I
That too.
will, you know?
And I'm gonna do it with this film too. Like I feel like this was worth the watch. It made me want to go back and watch. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the imagery, the segments of the film with the drugs and the shooting up and
Hmm.
the abuse, like it literally to me felt like less of a movie, but more of me looking through somebody's window in their life story. Like it felt as real as can be. Honestly, it was too real.
Yeah. And
So
those
much,
other characters, they were just kind of pawns on the chessboard.
right,
No,
right.
it wasn't totally about them until they directly affected Billy, in the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
like there was a lot of really interesting themes from this movie. So I wrote something down. It said the government was trying to stop and thwart any kind of black power, pride, or truth. And the whole reason why the government was after her was simply because she was singing
Strange
Strange.
fruit.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The government was after her for years, locked her up, tried to lock her up a second time, and would have succeeded, if not for a couple of things that happened. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a recurring theme
I
that
was just thinking that.
the government and the governing bodies like the CIA, the FBI in this
Mm-hmm.
case, and the police, just the regular police, have always been in cahoots with the idea of being against us.
It really reminded me of Judas and the Black Messiah. Like I feel like didn't I just watch this same theme play out?
Yes,
You know, with an insider trying to get us caught out there.
the same theme, dude. It's really crazy.
And I agree with Lynn so much so. I mean, I don't want to put my wife on blast, but she even said that a lot of it was really hard to watch. Like
Yeah,
she felt like she had to be in a certain mood to watch it, and I can understand that.
yeah.
This is not. I told her this ain't for the faint-hearted.
No,
It really wasn't.
no, no, no. You know what movie is like that as well? This is from years ago. The Basquiat movie.
I've heard about that. I didn't see it, but yeah.
What's his face played him? Dude who played. Did you see the Shaft movie?
Yeah, with
Peoples.
yeah, oh yeah. I saw, yes. That's my guy. That's my dude. I loved him from that movie.
You think you've seen him acting?
Oh, he killed. I loved him.
That movie. He put his foot in that movie, just like we were talking about with this chick.
I'm gonna watch it.
Even more so, because Basquiat was he was just as much of an addict. But yeah, dude, it's a tough watch. It's tougher than this. Like this is at least made to be a tangible movie to watch and digest.
Mm-hmm.
That shit right there.
Okay.
It's done in this really artsy kind of way. I mean, it's about an art guy. You know what I'm saying? But
and he's the star of the film.
Yeah, it's about.
I'm sold. I'm sold. Yeah. No, because he had me from Shaft. Dude, I go woo and yeah, no, I was gone at that. Yeah, that's my movie right there because of him. Yeah.
He's ridiculous in this. So check out the opening lyrics to the song of Strange Fruit. Southern trees bear strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the popular trees. Like, yo, that is so deep and real. It hurt. It like hurts to recite that. Let me see what they said in the chats here. Lynn said it was hard to watch due to the subject matter. And he also said the powers that be go hard against anyone that does or tries to unite our people.
You see, and for this very fact, I had this discussion on my podcast, and I was talking to my man Alston about how powerful and influential music is. When people try to sit here and dispute, oh, music doesn't influence, it doesn't encourage people, it doesn't. Nah, man, get out of here. Like, honestly, it's people who may have had an upbringing or people to kind of guide them and steer them in the right direction can say that. Everyone has a right to their opinion, but music definitely is beyond powerful and does influence. Because if these people were trying to shut her down in her nightclub performances and whatever this woman had to do or try to do to get this message out, then yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about when you said to me before, like, I'll play a song or I'll say something and you're like, dude, you are in my head. What you just said, I literally had that written down because you're so right. They always, until it fits their narrative, they always try to downplay art. Like, it's just entertainment. It doesn't mean anything, or we're not supposed to be affected until some white kid does something. Because I remember in the 80s, they used to always say, oh, it's the music that's doing that to them. And they're listening to the records backwards and hearing satanic. Okay, so is music powerful or is it not? Like, you can't have it both ways. Art can't. I mean, yes, some is just entertainment and some is more, but let's not have this blanket statement that music is just entertainment, because what you said proves it's not, and this proves it's not. This woman was singing a song, and police officers and federal agents, not just local cops, federal agents were at her shows dressed in gear, not undercover. Well, that too, they were undercover. That's another recurring theme, my dude. with this movie and with the Judas Judas
Judas
and
and
the
the Black
Black
Messiah.
is the informants.
Right.
And the informants in this movie were black.
And the interesting thing enough too was that the two of them, you see them at a point where they start to feel guilty for what
Yeah,
they were doing. They had a conscience.
yeah, yeah,
Very interesting to
yeah,
me.
yeah. And I see Mikkel said, I mean, Bob believed music could literally cure racism, cure with a capital letters. Yeah, he did.
From what I heard, he had the living proof at his concert where he had two opposing countries unite at his concert. From
See?
what I heard and what I read.
Yeah, you're right.
So why would he not believe that?
Right. See what I'm saying? The power. This was so powerful. They fought her to the end, even as she was literally
On a
dying.
deathbed, yep.
Dying. Like, okay, she's gonna die in 15 minutes. She's dying. They were handcuffing her to arrest her, knowing that they couldn't take her nowhere. She's gonna die. But they wanted to still cuff this woman because she would not relent. She would not stop performing that song.
And this is, if nothing else, people are again entitled to their opinions, but if nothing else, I do feel like a film like this is very important, especially for the younger generation. This is why I don't think movies like this are done in vain. Even if it's not executed, it still ignites a train of thought for people to research, like myself, who was a Billie Holiday fan, but I didn't know really much about her personal life, to research and do the knowledge if you so choose to. I definitely plan to, because music, there's such a power again in the music and the message. Like you said, they wanted to shut her down. They had her on a deathbed in handcuffs, trying to mute this woman from the message that the power that she really could have sparked in her people.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, and I don't say this to sound any kind of way, but I believe in my own greatness.
Absolutely.
As an artist, as a man, but as an artist, I believe in my own greatness. So when I see stories of artists who are considered great worldwide, there's something in me that relates on a much deeper level. You know what I'm saying? Like I really connect to it because I'm an artist as well who cares or who has passion or who wants to touch the world like these people do and really believe that I'm as talented.
Yes.
Because I've recognized my genius. Everyone has genius in them. Jay-Z touched upon that in an interview once before, but not everyone taps into it. It's like when I saw the Miles Davis biopic where Don Cheadle was playing him. I related to this dude, even though he was coked up and all that, and that's not my thing. I related as an artist. I just related. And I really related to Billie Holiday here and the stance she took and the trauma that she not only wore on her sleeve, it was in her face.
Yes.
Her trauma was in her face. Her voice was very sweet until near the end. Her voice kind of was, affected by all the drug use and trauma. And then when they showed her past, of her as a little girl, that just broke my heart, yo.
Dude, that was one of the scenes that like I had to look away a few times. Like obviously I went back to it. Yeah, I went back to it and watched, but like the first time, like either closing my eyes, turning away, or the ears, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I envision my own daughter, and it's like it just broke things inside of me that was undescribable. That's one of the scenes that just
because I myself and my wife, I can speak for, we grew up with both of our parents and this stable family life. Now, stable family life also happens with parents that are split as well, but that's just what we had. So sometimes when I see these stories of people who were experiencing these extreme things as kids, it's unfathomable. Like I can't fathom these type of things.
And let me tell you, during the
Or the
film,
parents, like her mom, her Billie Holiday. Come on.
yeah, no. And to build off of what you're saying, I said that out loud during like the first part of like the first quarter of the film. I'm like, yo, we think that we have it bad. Like a lot of these people, you look at a Billie Holiday, you look at a Marvin Gaye, you look at a Sam Cooke, you look at a Donny Hathaway. These people had it extremely hard, extremely, whether it was the circumstances going on around them or within, their mental health, everything, their family
All tortured
situation,
souls.
lack thereof. Like, yeah, they had it really, really bad. My heart broke for this woman throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It broke literally throughout the movie. There was very few moments where you could smile and like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there was more to her life than just that. But watching this film here, it was like, wow.
Now, the interesting thing about the film as well is we say how she went through so much and there was so much drama and trauma in the story, but there were also plenty of moments where she seemed to be enjoying life, like laughing and having fun with her friends, I tell you one moment that was funny for me, at least at first, was the funeral.
Oh yeah, no, I chuckled at that too.
I didn't realize who the funeral was for.
And as animal lovers as we are, you know what I'm saying?
And I felt that, but her homegirl was so wrecked over this. Like I really thought it was like one of their fathers or somebody from the crew. Yeah.
I told you not to feed him. I told you not to feed him table scraps.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
yes.
man, James Brown too.
Yep. Yes,
yep, another one. That's what I'm saying. The list goes on and on with these people, these legends.
The common thread with the people that you named, James Brown as well, Billie Holiday, they came from this old era where you think our rights aren't protected now?
That's what I'm exactly.
You think that they ain't hearing us now? We still trying to tell them like it is and they acting like it ain't?
Mm-hmm.
You could imagine what it was back then. Those traumas were even deeper. The need to just do whatever you had to do to succeed and keep your head down and bow down was commonplace back.
The separate rows. You got the white people beneath, the black people above. You got the drink from this, the black water fountain, white water fountain. The bill that they were trying to eliminate the lynching. I mean, right 2 minutes in the beginning of the film, that they didn't get to pass. That didn't. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. What was that? That was the Anti-Lynching Act.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they went to pass that when the Strange Fruit song was going around, and of course it got rejected quickly.
Right.
They just tried to pass that last year. No, it was last year. And it got rejected again. In this time, people are, at least to my knowledge, people aren't even getting lynched anymore. Not literally, not like as much as they were then, but they still was like, nah, we're going to keep this. Word?
Just to think that was a thing, like a common thing.
Common thing.
I mean, and they say that it's becoming more upfront and in our faces now, but no, this was even more so back in the day. This was the norm. Right. And it's coming to me. It's full circle where it's becoming more comfortable to do a lot of these things, in our faces and to our families.
Yeah. I see Mikkel said not as much, but people are still being lynched. Yeah, they definitely. I'm sure they are. I mean, when the Black Lives Matter movement, well, no, I won't say when it started popping. I'll say when George Floyd happened. Yeah. There were like 3 or 4 different occasions where they reported people who were high up members of the Black Lives Matter movement or some type of protest who were being hung.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just keep saying, oh, it was a suicide. Oh, it was a suicide. Oh, it was a... Huh? Word? Come on now. Like, we're still fighting these same things. Lynn said the Anti-Lynching Act has not passed because they don't want it to pass. Exactly.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Exactly. So people who grew up in the times of Strange Fruit and Billie Holiday, black folk, they knew what was going on. They knew the feds were after her and they knew why and the whole 9 yards. So our people, as a people, have known from before then up through now how we've been treated, regardless if no one else believes us. We believe us, right? So here's my point. We believe us. So now you fast forward to this pandemic time that we're in, right? And you got everybody or people saying, let's make sure we get this vaccine. I was conversating with a few people about this. The rough thing is, it's hard because it's hard to trust because it's coming from the same system that we're still fighting the same fights against. We're still trying to get the same rights against or from. And then we're supposed to just turn all of that disbelief off, all of this hate that they've put on us, and then come in and say, well, this vaccine, we need this. But as the times grow, that need becomes greater and greater to have to get it, to have it. Mm-hmm. And they keep pushing and forcing the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean to go there as far as the vaccine, but it just made me think about it because, they're still assassinating and taking down our leaders. They don't do it now because we don't have as many who are clearly standing up like they were then. I mean, we have folk that are doing stuff, don't get me wrong, but there's not a Malcolm, a Martin, a Billie Holiday. Right. They ain't taking those risks.
I've been saying even more so recently how the stars align, like how things connect for a reason. I was just watching some friends of mine with their IG live. They were talking about this same thing about the vaccine. They had a 3 people, this new update they have with Instagram where you can add more people. They had a few people on there talking about the vaccine and not trusting, because of the same people who put these bodegas, liquor stores in our community. Why are they so quick to enforce or encourage us to take these vaccines and use people like a Michelle Obama,
like as
a poster child for like why we should
like Hank Aaron, and then dude was gone like a week and a half later.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe that was just because he was old and he had other things happening, but it wasn't a good look for what they were trying to accomplish there.
Right, and the underlying point is the lack of trust and the reluctancy to even mess with the vaccine like that.
Why
for some of us?
And let's not even we're not forgetting about the Tuskegee experiments and what they were doing against us to, cure like polio or syphilis and see or gonorrhea, whatever it was. They're not trustworthy. And these were grown ass, powerful, extremely powerful white men who were just going after this black woman who was an addict. Do you see how powerful we are?
Mm-hmm.
She had a whole agency. Matter of fact, what's crazy is looked like they had built a faction of the federal agency where it was just a department of black people so that they can go after other blacks. Because if you notice, one time, one of them said, did you get anything yet on Louis or Charlie? They were talking about Louis Armstrong and Charlie Parker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jazz. Yeah. He said something like jazz is the music of the devil or something, or it's going to incite people to want to rise up.
Yep.
And he said we can't have that. Like, that's how powerful we are. Not even we. That's how powerful one of us is. She was one woman who was singing a song she didn't even write. The lyrics were written by some communist. You
Speak
know,
on it. Speak on
which
it.
is ironic because then if you look back at Angela Davis, remember for a long time she proclaimed to be a communist.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, how is she a communist? Well, communists wrote Strange Fruit. I'm just saying, I'm not backing communism. I'm just putting the facts out there and seeing the parallels.
Right, right.
But yeah, man. So one other thing I wanted to comment, what I wanted to get your thoughts on
Mm-hmm.
with this film was, let's see, Mikkel said it's documented that Hoover had a whole group, COINTELPRO, or I'm saying it right, COINTELPRO, I believe, to keep us in line. Wow. Not surprised. That's what they was doing. That's what they was doing in this movie. It was crazy. And it was more than one, because wasn't the light-skinned dude that was, I felt like the light-skinned
The
dude that
younger dude?
also, yeah, that was also with the feds, who she would sometimes get heroin from. He looked just like the dude that was with the feds.
Right, yeah, for a minute, yeah, a few
Right?
times.
Like, is this the same
I
dude?
felt the same thing, yeah.
But the recurring theme that I wanted to speak to you about that I noticed with Billie, which also saddened me, was her relationships with men.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
what did you think?
There
Please.
was it was heartbreaking, man. I mean, there was barely anyone who she could trust.
Right.
Or she, and when she did, it was because the dude was undercover. And I mean, they later, formed a bond and developed or whatever, but it was either the abuse or manipulation.
Yeah.
Distrust.
It was just always something.
There was always something negative. Something negative. And her father, unfortunately, she didn't have, due to him being lynched. So it's
and yeah, dude, it was sad because it felt like every time a dude came in her life to collaborate with her
or sell her drugs,
suddenly they were married. It was never okay, well, we doing business together. The only one to me she had a man that she had a really good business relationship with in this movie was the saxophone player, who was dude.
Everybody hates Chris.
And the gay dude that I think you might have been about before.
Exactly.
The wig on, like.
Yeah.
Other than that, every man in her life ended up fucking her, literally, and
treating her like a prostitute.
Like treating her like a prostitute.
And this was something that she picked up. She picked up from six years old with her mom, of all people.
Picked up from her mama. I can't even imagine. That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine having a mother who would deal with me in the way her mom did, or learning them kind of lessons from mama. That's crazy, yo. So her relationships, and then when she finally had a glimmer of hope, and something that seemed like a slice of a decent relationship with Jimmy, the
federal agent. Yep.
When he finally left the feds and he's with her and the whole 9 yards, she then leaves him. She left him and was leaving her whole band hanging. Like, yo, I'm out. I'm going to leave with this dude who is an ex-pimp. Not a coincidence. And the trouble just kept going and going and going, and it was just sad, but it was a beautiful story to see. Like, because I've seen some movies that after I watched it, I was like depressed, or I needed something else. Watch.
A pick me up, yeah.
Right.
Comedy or something.
Pick me up here. I didn't need a pick me up here. I mean, yeah, But yeah, so this movie was really, really interesting. Like, and you see, it's crazy how the white feds treated the informant Jimmy like he was everything. But once it wasn't going their way, they treated him just like the rest. In fact, they were like, "Well, are you the one dealing to her now?" Or blah.
Exactly.
They're just trying to lock him up just for being there for her, just for believing in her. He even said, "Y'all are scared of her because she's black, she's beautiful, she's strong. Y'all fear that."
What did my man call him? Nat King. I'm sorry, that's one other part I fell out too. I couldn't help but laugh with that, man.
Oh, what was the other name of the other person he added in there? I forgot. Nat King something. I forgot, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he felt under pressure in the courtroom and I guess couldn't get his what they were trying to set her up for straight. Yeah. He was supposed to deliver. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, man, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but overall, I walk away with a positive with the movie. I thought it was well acted. It was the cinematography was shot really, really well. The music was incredible. I felt engaged and captivated when she was on stage doing her thing. Like I was like the people in the audience, just like,
yeah, yep.
Like
you don't always get that in some of these biopic movies about musicians. Sometimes the performance parts of the movie, you're just kind of like,
yeah,
not here, not at all. Yeah, they killed it, dude. And I was thinking, why is it that artists are always finding the people that end up jerking them? Like they're always getting jerked. Like these people are in awe of their talent, and I know it's because of money, I guess, but why these people aren't trying to collab or work along with, they're just they all just get jerked. She's getting jerked by record labels. She's getting, then she's got the feds on her. Like, it's like, come on.
Hey, and especially as a black woman, like I mentioned a whole bunch of brothers before, but this was a sister who was extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And not just fine, because she was fine. Let's not get it twisted. We could talk all the intelligent and this, that, and the other, whatever, but she was fine.
Yeah.
But she had a really strong message, obviously, which is why they tried to take her down. And I mean, we can go on and on about this movie about her and the actress and the actual Billie Holiday.
And me as a director, I just loved certain things. So I'll mention one last thing about the movie, and this goes back to her relationships with men. So when Jimmy the informant, when they were in a hotel and they was getting ready to have sex, she's like, "Come on." She gets on all fours. He's hitting it from the back, right? And he turns her around and he's like, "No, this way." He looks her in her face and he wants to look at her and make love to her or have sex. Yo, it threw her. And she was like, "What? What's going on?" Like she didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what to do with that type of intimacy at first. And after that moment, me as a story writer, you would think, okay, that's the moment where she fell for this dude. And then they were together for the rest of their lives. She did fall for him. But her darkness was so deep that eventually it still overpowered everything. And she just left dude. She just left him. She left him for the ex-pimp. Because she said, she literally said, "I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with a good thing." I've met
I've met a few
that have said or things similar to that. They didn't know what to do with that or how to take a compliment.
Right.
A real compliment.
Yeah.
Look,
it would have either been the pimp or the drugs, honestly, that she would have left him for. Yeah.
It was both because as we see, he was doing that with her. You see? So it was both. It was both. Lynn said Billie was not recognized for her greatness in life and not as much as she should have in her death. And then Mikkel said she needed to be in our competition. Artists tend to be creative, but not as business minded. Too, they
Good
get taken
point.
advantage of.
Good
Yeah,
point. Good point.
yeah,
And it's true. It's true, unfortunately.
yeah. And then Lynn, he scared her, and that is why she left. Yeah, without question. So that was deep. Like I love when a film can show that type of stuff
Hmm.
because you're showing levels and layers. You're showing black people with levels and layers. It's not just this one note because we aren't just one thing. If we
That's
were
right.
just one thing, they wouldn't be so obsessed with assassinating us.
Hmm.
Assassinating us literally, assassinating our history. Like, you already know. Okay, so we're going to go to the next movie. This shouldn't take too long. Um, Mikkel said, many people, men and women, are like that. I dated someone like that. He literally told me things were going too well, and he'd been waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can all relate to that type of person. It's crazy to think of, but it's there. It's real. They're out there. So the next movie we are going to discuss is Coming to America Part 2. My dude, Vic, Virtuous, has talked on this show and other platforms, I'm sure, about his respect and admiration for Eddie Murphy, his love for Coming to America, and his anticipation for Coming to America Part 2. I was looking forward to it as well. Um, I was a little skeptical from the trailer, but I was going into it open minded. So, Vic, what did you think of Coming to America 2?
I was gonna say you should open up again,
No,
but I'm not. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take
no.
it. I'm gonna take this
Yeah.
one. Um, let's just start off saying, that Eddie is still and will always be cemented in my heart. His legacy will not be tarnished by anything that he does moving forward. I'm not one of these fickle fans, like, I'm through in and throughout, like, yeah,
Mhm.
without a doubt. Like
Said
you,
that.
yes. No, like you, I didn't get my hopes up. I'm just a realist. There's nothing touching the classic Coming to America. Like, no, it's just not happening.
Right.
Especially not 33 years later. Um, so my feeling about the movie, and for those who don't know, Eddie Murphy is one of three of my biggest inspirations ever of all time.
Yeah.
Stallone being one of the other, Bruce Lee being the third. All
Mm.
right. So definitely looking forward to this movie. I was souped and anticipating it since the run with Saturday Night Live, which I thought was phenomenal return. Love Dolomite. Dolomite's the name. Love the producer he worked with and the arrangements for that movie. And I
Mm-hmm.
was anticipating this because they were supposed to reconnect the producer of that movie and Eddie Murphy
The
and
director,
the
the writer,
director.
yeah, and director. Yep.
Right. And the fact that they also worked with Wesley Snipes, who was supposed to make his cameo appearance to this movie. So everything was aligning well for me.
Mm.
Excuse me. Also saw Eddie in a few interviews saying how he felt like he got his mojo back. Maybe not in those words, but just the gist of him feeling his odes and, like, just that nostalgic magic
Yeah.
and that zen that he has, that skill and talent that he has, right? He was going to bring to these whatever project he would be working on moving forward, and that it wouldn't be like play for pay. He
Victor,
some of these movies were play
what,
for
what
pay.
do you think of the movie?
No, I'm getting to it because this is my guy. This is my guy. This is look. This is my
If it
guy.
was somebody
So
else, you'd already went in and be like, "Look." But go
this is
ahead. Finish your
this is my guy. This is my
finish your
guy.
intro.
So all right. So like I said, I didn't have any wild expectations
With
about the
Mikkel's
movie.
comment.
And this is my guy. So I had no reason to feel any negative or derogatory way about this movie.
Uh huh.
So my boy John Pellum, who you see aside on the screen, hit me up through text and said, "Yo, Vic, this movie is a day early. They released it. Amazon released it early." So I'm like, "Word? Bet. Okay." So I got the popcorn, sat in front of the TV screen, was excited, looking forward to the movie to drop. sitting there, finally drops. They show Zamunda. They show the overlook of Zamunda. They show Eddie in the beginning. They show his daughters.
Mm.
And the movie goes on and on and on. And the closest thing I could compare it to when I spoke to Brother John and whoever asked how I felt about the film, you know, what do they call those things at the hospital with the flat line? And like, you know, you see the going across the screen.
Yeah.
The flat line was just consistent for me throughout a good majority of the first, the second, the third portion of the film. Like, it didn't do anything for me.
Right.
It didn't make me laugh. It didn't make me feel like I just sat and I just
watched
like
it.
I didn't have a like I just watched like I didn't have a pulse. And and part of me was thinking like, why? At some point in my mind, I'm like, why? Why was this necessary? Again, for nostalgic purposes and to see a reunion of all these favorite characters that we grew up with watching this movie. That was great. That was fun. It was cool.
It was cute.
But like, yeah, it was cute. But I wasn't really. There's so many different layers, and I've seen people reviews. I've heard people's reviews, and I agree honestly with them for the most part of people's assessment of this film. And I saw a couple people online like, oh, you know, so many people they're critics. You know, everybody has an opinion, but hey, we're watching a movie.
Yes.
Like first of all, everybody has a right to their opinion. Like,
yeah,
we're critiquing, we're assessing a film, so we're gonna give our honest opinion. And this whole hating thing, no, it's not hate, it's just people's honest opinion. If they didn't enjoy the film, they didn't enjoy the film. I gave you the backdrop to say this, that Eddie Murphy is one of my favorites ever. I had no expectation, any wild expectation, and I was looking forward to seeing the film. So I had no reason to walk away feeling like, oh, the movie sucked or it was trash. I'm not even gonna go that far. But I'm just saying it didn't recapture the magic at all for me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be like the original, but it didn't. The storyline was not good to me.
No.
Again, it wasn't funny. The heart wasn't there for me. There was no good character development again. And you really didn't know who was starring in the film. There wasn't really an underdog who you rooted for like you did with Akeem. Right. You didn't fall in love with Akeem's you didn't fall in love with any characters from this film like you did with Akeem or Lisa or Mr. McDowell or anybody, Randy Watson. All of these characters pulled you in somehow, some way. You understand? So like what they did was just revisit classic jokes, and it just didn't recapture that magic for me. One of the worst scenes in the movie was my man, not Simi, Oha, doing whatever that was he did, with the singing and the people flipping and like the Tiana Taylor and it just it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. And then I saw another review where this woman made a really good point about the Me Too movement, and somebody made this similar point with Cardi B. Now with this whole thing with Eddie Murphy being drugged and being seduced. Excuse me, with the noise in the background, but being seduced by this woman, you know, that's something that really could be brought up and made a strong case of. You know what I mean? Like, it's a family film, yes, and it's to be lighthearted and not be taken so seriously.
I didn't think about that.
But yeah, there's a strong case that could be made about that. The hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's a lot of things that could potentially tarnish. I mean, you can't really diminish the value of the classic film because it's already solidified, but you could potentially ruin the legacy of an important film like that to Black history, to comedy. You know what I mean? Like the way they took him, they had him in the club with the CGI and the fact of Akeem's innocence and how he wanted to keep his himself, for his bride to be. You know what I mean? Not being not being sexually or driven by his pursuit of actually coming to America and being in America. Yeah. Not like 5 minutes of the film we're in America, that we go back to Zamunda and then we go back again. Like it was all over the place. There's so many holes in the film. Like I could just go on and on. There was a lot of cheese. There was a lot of corniness in there. And I'm not going to sit here and say again that it was trash. There was a few bumps in the road, from that flat line where there was a chuckle, there was a snicker, there was an eyebrow raise, like, oh, okay, towards the end. In like the third portion of the film, there was some decency. But overall, the film just did not move me. It did not move me. It didn't make me laugh. It didn't touch my heart. It didn't move me at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Not even the barbershop scenes were on point like that. And everybody's talking about Wesley Snipes was like one of the highlights. How?
I don't know.
I love Wesley Snipes, but he was just too cartoonish for me. All the dancing and trotting back and forth, like, and all this. Nah, I wasn't. I just no. It wasn't believable. John, please. Eddie Murphy's still my dude. He'll always be my dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for anyone who enjoyed the film. Great, more power to you. I'm not hating, so please let's get this out of our vocabulary. This hating nonsense. Like, I'm glad everybody was gainfully employed with their cameos in the film. That's great, but that has nothing. It's like going to church and respecting the fact that people are singing to the Lord and everything, but does it make the song good? No, the song could be still trash. You respect it, you appreciate it, you honor it, but no, it doesn't make the film or the song a good film or a good song.
Yeah.
Let's just like it's to each his own, man. It's hey, if you loved it, more power to you. More power to you. I'm sorry. You asked.
Been go on this long. I'm
Yo,
with it, but he was really like, "Yo, you know what?
This is my guy. You know this. I'm gonna have more than an opinion about any Eddie Murphy, any Stallone, any Bruce Lee film.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go the extra mile with it. So,
yeah, that movie. Okay, so,
and I'd like to know more from you, from a writer's standpoint, from a storyteller such as yourself, a filmographer. Yeah. Like, please let me know. Elaborate a bit more on your take of the film.
So when Mikkel and I first watched it, I thought it was trash. I'm not even going to mince or play around with words here. I thought it was trash. Like, garbage day. Like, you take out the garbage in the morning, and when they open the trash can to dump it into their truck, Coming to America 2 is in there. Trash.
Now, elaborate on that, please. What exactly made it trash for you?
But here's the thing. For some crazy reason, maybe because I love that series so much, I actually went and watched it again.
I couldn't make it the second time through.
And I tried. Well, I watched a good portion of it, I'll say. Mm-hmm. Okay. In my second watch, I understood it a little better. Because I was like, hold up. I was looking online and I'm like, there's a lot of people commenting about this movie.
A lot.
Like, they love it. Or like you said, Wesley Snipes' character is all that. Like, they were just loving it. And I'm like, what am I missing? So it's like Mikkel said earlier in a comment, it's for the younger generation. Okay, first of all. Now, still that doesn't take away from the fact that you still should make a good movie. Okay? How High Part 2 was made for the younger generation, and it sucked.
They had a Part 2? I never even knew that.
Yeah, they made it, and after all this time, did not involve red or meth, and put like Lil Yachty and somebody else in it.
Oh, wow!
So there's that. But anyway, it was made for the younger generation. But this character, some of the flaws were that character. His illegitimate son, or as they kept calling him, the bastard
son. I'm like, yo, what is this like?
You know what was funny? Was the king.
Please tell me.
The king and that weird looking dude's hate for Simi. They seem like they always wanted to fuck up Simi or him to die. Like when the father was still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Bedroom, like that was kind of funny how they didn't like Simi. They just kept fucking with him, but messing with him. But also, I didn't like that they killed off James Earl Jones.
I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I
understand the natural progression, but as a writer, I'm so tired of these movies like Star Wars, the trilogy, where they say, okay, we're going to come back with a new movie and we're going to bring back all this nostalgia. And they kill one of the main characters. Oh, you should have seen Vic. You were going in so hardcore earlier that you didn't see the list of comments she had before.
No, I didn't.
Because she was like, Vic ain't trying to hear that. But so this character was weak. The actor that played him was not at all funny. There was nothing about him that to me made you want to connect to him. It was like they were asking for us to care about a fart.
Yeah, and real talk.
I've had poots that I cared more about than this character. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, same here. Same here.
Right. Oh, you've had some poots you cared about more.
Most definitely.
Definitely.
You know,
see what I'm saying?
And like from a MC, I don't even want to get all deep like that, but like the whole rapping part too was just like that to me was obviously for the younger kids. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, and the whole thing with like the fleek on fleek and like,
yeah, it wasn't cool.
The innocence of Akeem from the first one, of him being introduced to the United States and to New York, was totally absent in this film.
Yeah,
it just in his personality, like the innocence and the cool, rebellious, like the fact of this tradition with the women of the Zamunda not being able to do this and that, like he broke through that in the first one.
Yeah,
I just man,
yeah.
It's just
no, you're right. You're right.
And to compliment real quick, I will say that it was a beautifully made movie as far as like the attire. I appreciated that. I thought
Ruth Carter, right? She did Black Panther. So yeah,
our people are beautiful.
Yeah.
The son's love interest, she's who I liked about the movie, and the daughters, and the daughter, and
yeah. And I know the light skinned daughter is actually Eddie Murphy's actual daughter in real life.
Right.
So yeah, the character was nobody to really get into. The illegitimate son. Then you didn't have anything to fall for. There wasn't a real love story there, or there wasn't heart in this movie. And to me, in my opinion, you put two people in this movie who traditionally are terrible in movies, who are literally the unfunniest. That's Leslie Jones. If they keep taking her out of her cage and putting her in these movies, I'm gonna slap somebody. But that wasn't nice.
Yo, man.
Shout out to Leslie Jones. I'm glad she does what she does. I will always support the sisters, even if I take a jab here and there. But she's just really unfunny.
Speaking of which, shout outs to Tracy Morgan, but I don't find him funny like that either. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Now on SNL, now Mikkel just said she's funny on SNL. She is definitely. Well, sometimes Tracy Morgan was as well, but in movies, Tracy Morgan and Leslie are not funny. They are like Kevin Hart in movies. It's like, I hate when it feels like someone's trying to be funny.
Right.
Or like Kevin Hart, it feels like Kevin Hart would just, cartwheel into a wall for the sake of funny. When there's so many other ways to be funny. It's like at least he used to be that dude. It's just, I wasn't into that. Tracy Lynn said, "Damn, John, how do you really feel?" I'm sorry, y'all.
No, and that's the thing. Don't apologize. Like it's your honest. That's the thing. We got to get past this
cage thing. Me telling.
Oh,
I apologize for that. I'm sorry.
We got to get past this hate. Like when you give your honest opinion or being called a critic, like what are we supposed to do if we watch a movie? Just ride the tip of like and ride the wave like everyone else because that's the end thing to do? Like, nah, if I
No,
don't like it, I don't like it. It's just not me trying to be
yeah,
hateful or derogatory. It's just me being honest,
I tell
you
you,
know?
if they would have, and this is not me trying to say I'm this or that, but if they would have given me the opportunity to make Coming to America 2, I would have made that thing pop. Because you got to make people laugh, like for real. You got
It's a
to come back
comedy.
hardcore with it and have a lot of fun. But really, really, like I feel like they didn't even really give Eddie's character enough.
No. A lot of people
So
said that with Arsenio
it
too.
was very pedestrian in the
Hmm.
movie. I mean, he played the character. He did inhabit the character well. Again, like a grown version, you know. But like him and Arsenio weren't to me really funny in the movie. Even some of the things that were written, like I'm like, this stuff is just not funny, or it doesn't matter, or and then Wesley Snipes is hopping around looking like some type of crocodile with cornrows, and it's just what I was good. So when I watched it again, it was somewhat digestible, but I'm still not with it. I wouldn't go back to it. Coming to America is supposed to be something you're able to go back to.
I'm not coming back to it. There's not gonna be
No.
no coming back 2 or 3 or whatever. Like, nah.
Oh, and there was an article that said Eddie and the director, because it was a big success for Amazon. This movie, of course it was. They're talking about doing a third one.
No. No, please, man. Again, I'm glad that people were gainfully employed and they had their opportunity to shine, but no, man, please don't.
Yeah.
Because as an Eddie Murphy supporter, a fan, I don't even feel like Akeem was played right. Like I just didn't connect with him like I did the first time around. I didn't connect with anyone. I really didn't. The only one I connected with again was the love interest. She
Yeah.
was the only one that really moved me.
Yeah.
It was good to see Lisa McDowell, but like, and I know people change, they grow, they're not supposed to be the same people, things change. I get that, but you could still keep the heart and the humor, somewhat the same or at least captivating.
I didn't
To
get that.
me.
So before we wrap up, a couple more comments here. Mikkel said he didn't have to go there with the cage comment, though. But I figured she wasn't fond of that. But, they're not going to like it all. They're not going to like it all, or like it ain't. So her other comment was, if you had the opportunity, would you even make the movie? I think it shouldn't have been left. It should have been left alone, and they made a total different movie. I agree. If I was in the position where I had to make the movie, I would have made it pop, and I would have put them on an adventure and done things together. Lynn said that's a hard no for Vic.
Len knows me well. I heard my man Maul from the Joe Button podcast say like he wouldn't have been mad if they made like a TV series. He's surprised that they didn't do like a series with it instead, where they could have had more time for development, which is a smart overview. But honestly, again, I still feel like nah, just leave it alone, man. They could have named it every and anything else other than Coming to America. Just
Now I love the thing that I loved before we go, the beauty of the blackness in Africa and just the everything and the royalty was amazing. But the movie itself and the funny just wasn't there. So Coming to America gets a thumbs down for me. Gets 2 thumbs down. I gets 4 thumbs down.
love you, Eddie. You still solidified as one of my biggest inspirations ever. That will never change. But
yeah,
I'm not a fickle fan, but I'm also not one of these people that just rides with everything and anything that my favorites do. And this is one of those times that I just don't. I just don't.
And Tracy Morgan. That was just Imagine if they put them in a movie together like it was just their movie.
You even saw my man Morgan Freeman. Like, it was too much unnecessary.
Right. Morgan Freeman was unnecessary. Salt and
Too
Pepper
much.
was unnecessary.
Gladys Knight, my lady, love Gladys Knight. Oh,
Like,
come
if
on,
y'all
man.
don't stop towing these people out here to look all bloated and like they just want to be home and chill. Listen, leave these people out.
And in Zamunda, of all, why are we bringing Salt and Pepper and Gladys Knight to Zamunda?
No,
That makes no on Fleek. Come on, y'all trying too hard. It's too much. It's
so
too
yeah,
much.
we're doing that movie. So Victor didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it for him. He feels this movie is trash. He wants to be kind because he has on his gentleman's cap.
There was some decency in them. There was some decency. I'm not gonna say it was all bad. There was some decency in the movie. Some.
I understand. You've got a feather in your cap, so you have to look more kind. I don't have a feather in my cap. It's trash. Babe, he literally has a feather in his cap. Anyway, all right. We're gonna end for the we're going to end for the night. We thank everybody, all of you guys, for tuning in and jumping in the comments for Like It Ain't. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know, we appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned tomorrow because tomorrow is part 2 of Women in Hip Hop on Super MC. And we got the great Silent Night coming to join us. It's going to be amazing.
My brother. Yes. Looking forward to it. You and I both.
Vic, is there anything you like to say as we head out for the night?
Eddie, again, I love you. You are always solidified, but nah. Just thanks, peace, and blessings to everyone who watched the show, who tuned in, took the time to rock with us tonight. The comments, I had a great time. And again, I'm super appreciative of this show. There's no other platform out there like it. John Pellum, Mikel Pellum, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. That's all I got.
Word. Love and appreciate y'all too.
Love my wife too, by the way. Love my wife always.
Yes. Shout out.
Love my kids. Love my family.
There you go. Say it with your chest out. That's what I'm talking about. And we love the listeners. We love that y'all stay tuned and follow us. So, love, peace, and hair grease.
And you see this down below. Make sure to subscribe. Subscribe to Jersey Art Productions.
Subscribe. Stay current with the crew. We the crew. Stay current. Is Ock going to be in the building? No, Silent Ock will not be in the building tomorrow for Super MC. But you know what? Let's put a call in. Let's see what we can do. Maybe Silent Ock might be able to show up, flex a few tentacles. We'll see.
One last thing I'd like to say in support. Like, despite the views and opinions here, like, y'all, please, if you haven't already, go check these movies out. They deserve the support. It's Eddie Murphy, so regardless, and Billie Holiday, 2 legends.
Yeah.
Do your research, formulate your own opinion. This is just our views and opinions. Go check the movies out. Go support.
Yeah. And you know what? Real quick, Vic, before we go, can you please let people know about what you're doing right now and about the latest episode of your podcast?
Absolutely, with pleasure. Hey, I just released this week brand new Victory is Ours return podcast, episode 5 of my man, the legendary one and only RJ Payne. Salute to that brother. Thank you so much for blessing my platform with your greatness, for such an introspective, personal, and amazing conversation. I had such a pleasure doing it. My wife was present, Larry Tan. Shout outs to the man, Larry Tan, who made it possible. I had a great time. Check me out through Libsyn, Spotify. Victory is Ours, the podcast. Pain and Perspective is what the episode is entitled. Again, Pain and Perspective. Check it out. Victory is Ours, the podcast. Follow me through Facebook, Instagram, and support your boy.
Please do. You won't regret it.
And support RJ Payne. I am RJ Payne on every platform. Instagram, his website. Support the merch. Support the man. He is definitely well deserving of it. Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
Another super MC. Shout out to RJ Payne. Word up. All right. Love, peace, and hair grease. And TCB wants his free. Peace.